Headlines today is in touch with the family of the Indian hostage. He is a native of Guntur in Andhra Pradesh. The hostage's brother says that the family is extremely tense. Officials in Sydney have contacted his family. The hostage works for IT major Infosys in Sydney. Let's listen in to the family.
నేను చెప్పలేదు 1 డే టైం ఇంకా ఏం తర్వాత ఏం తెలియలేదు అంట డిమాండ్స్ ఏం తెలియలేదు తెలిసిన తర్వాత ఏం పేరు యాక్షన్ తీసుకున్నారు మార్నింగ్ మాకు 9:30 విషయం తెలిసింది ఇబ్బంది ఏం లేదు మేడం మీరు స్కూల్గా ఉంది ప్రాబ్లం ఏం లేదు సేఫ్ తీసుకొస్తామని చెప్పారు చెప్పడానికి ఏం లేదు మేడం సేఫ్ అని తెలిసిన కూడా ఎక్కువ ఇబ్బంది టెన్షన్ ఉంటుంది కదా దాని గురించి ఇబ్బంది మీరు ఎక్కడే ఉన్న వాళ్ళు అట్లా తీసుకోవడం జరిగింది భయం ఎలా ఉంటుంది.
The family is extremely nervous. Sudhir, what more do we know of the Indian gentleman in this hostage crisis?
Well, he has been there in Sydney for the last 7 years. In fact, it was Infosys and the Indian government which actually got in touch with the family in Guntur district in Andhra Pradesh. And only after that, they informed the wife of the hostage. And only after that, the Sydney officials actually told her that they are trying their best to get him out safe. They have reassured her. They have said that give us a day's time and we will bring him out safely. But obviously, the family, both in Sydney, the wife and child, and the family members back home in Guntur, extremely tense because they have been told that it's a very unpredictable kind of situation. Things could actually take a turn for the worse. So obviously they're keeping their fingers crossed, but extremely tense moments for the family in Guntur, who are obviously glued to the television set to see what really is happening there in Sydney in this present extremely tense hostage crisis.
This indeed appears to be the case as of now, 13 hours and counting. Now security could soon be stepped up for Indian cricket team that's on tour of Australia currently, even as we speak. According to reports, the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval has reviewed the situation. He's constantly in touch with authorities in Australia to ensure that the team is safe. The BCCI has also said that it is constantly in touch with Cricket Australia, and they've been told that additional security will be provided to Team India if needed. The Indian team is currently in Brisbane preparing for the second test with Australia in Brisbane. The spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs, Syed Akbaruddin, described the Indian team as a national treasure and said all efforts will be made to give them the best possible security. I have with me headlines today is Smita Sharma, who joins us with the latest. Also with me is Prakash Singh, former Director General of Police, Uttar Pradesh. Smita, you've been speaking to your sources not just in the Indian consulate in Sydney, but also those who are battling this situation. What is the latest that you can tell us? It's 13 hours and counting.
Well, it's going to be a very, very long night, of course, for Sydney as the world looks on and the ordeal continues, Gaurav, clearly, because the latest media release that has come up, it in a way prepares people in Sydney to be prepared for this crisis to continue through tomorrow. We've also been informed that the US consulate, in fact, will stay shut tomorrow. At the same time, in fact, forces are being stepped up. A night, a late evening, a late night operation could also be a possibility that is not being ruled out at the moment, but the government also appealing to people out there to try and carry on with business as normal tomorrow. Bus operations will continue, train stations will remain open, except for, of course, Martin Station, where this cafe is located, and parts of Elizabeth, Hunter and Macquarie Street, really the adjoining streets in the vicinity, they will be closed off. But clearly, you were discussing the Indian hostage out here. I think the Indian government is also closely monitoring the situation. The Consulate General of India still continues with the official stand that they have no official confirmation towards this end from the local intelligence authorities, and they seem to be upset in the manner this issue has been handled. Really, we saw Venkaiah Naidu come out and make those statements, come out in the public domain, and in a way endanger an Indian life, because in this kind of a situation, coming out and declaring nationalities is nothing but dangerous. And that's why Syed Akbaruddin, in fact, tried doing some damage control later on by saying that it's not advisable to come out and declare people's passports in this kind of a developing situation.
This clearly should never be done. And Mr. Singh, the Indian now stands in a way isolated. It's the police commissioner in Sydney made that very clear. Andrew Scipione said social media is everywhere. The more this Indian national gets highlighted, the more his life gets in danger.
Yes, I don't think we should be talking too much about it. We should let the Australians handle the situation, and I think they should be able to handle it. And considering that for the first 12 hours he has not killed anyone, he has not physically harmed anyone, at least not that we know of. I'm inclined to believe that sooner or later this man would surrender and the men would not be harmed. I mean, that is the impression I get, but you never know.
Yes, the indications, even the Sydney police seem to indicate, the indications are very positive. Why? Well, 5 hostages managed to come out. The Sydney police say they have the best negotiators. They were able to talk to this man and get food across to those inside. Karthik Shivkumar now joins us from ground zero. Karthik, you are very close to where this Lindt Cafe is. What more can you tell us about what's happening on ground zero?
That's right. I am just around 10 kilometers from the Lindt Cafe. And just this morning at work, we got this sudden headline news. And we are all shocked because Sydney people are not prepared for this kind of incidents. And when we heard about this, and we were totally shocked to hear about it, and people are panicking a bit. But later in the stage, it cooled down a bit. But overall, it was really a panic situation in Sydney.
Okay. Now, if we were to, for a moment, talk about that black flag that hostages were forced to display, what can we make, Mr. Prakash Singh, of that flag that is on display at that Lindt chocolate window?
It's a flag which, from whatever I know, it says that Allah is the only God and Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. This is a standard flag which I believe Osama bin Laden also used this flag. This is, it symbolizes Islamist terrorism, Islamist extremism. It supports Al-Qaeda ideology, or you can say extremist Islamist ideology. So, but the man seems to owe his allegiance to the ISIS because considering his anxiety to get an ISIS flag which he would display from the cafe,
yes,
maybe he's doing with whatever he has, the flag, but he ultimately wants to show his loyalty, his commitment, and spread the ideology of ISIS.
In fact, there were a series of raids that took place in this in Sydney sometime back. There were 2 arrests that took place. Apparently there was also an explosive device or an unclaimed object that was found and diffused. We will continue to track this story very closely. 13 hours and counting. We're slipping into a quick break, but are there dots that need to be connected? Arrests that took place, the raids that were carried out, also other explosive devices or suspicious objects that were found in Sydney. How do these dots add up? 13 hours and counting. We're tracking, begun a unique solidarity initiative to control any possible backlash against the Muslim community after the Sydney siege. After concerns that people wearing Islamic dresses could be harassed, Sydney locals have begun using Twitter to offer to travel with them. The hashtag I'll ride with you has gone viral in the city in the past several hours. A young Sydney woman, Rachel Jacobs, appears to have inspired this campaign after posting a moving Facebook status about her encounter with a terrified Muslim woman earlier in the day. The status quickly circulated on social media before inspiring the I'll ride with you hashtag, as Twitter users from across the country offered to ride public transport with Muslims who feel intimidated by the anti-Islamic sentiment. Now, as the siege continues for 13 hours and counting, and that black Arabic flag appears to be on that window screen, is it this backlash that Muslims fear in Australia? This is something that the security forces will also have to gear up and deal with in the times to come.
Yes, they'll have to be prepared with it because this kind of backlash is bound to happen. I mean, with all the propaganda, with all the effort at maintaining communal amity and sort of I'll ride with you hashtag and all that, but anger would build up against the Muslims for what one of their representatives has done, and done not in his individual capacity but as a member, a supporter, and someone owing allegiance to the ISIS. So some kind of backlash is quite likely to happen, and the local administration, the police particularly, will have to be prepared to deal with this situation.
In fact, what we can also tell you that the Grand Mufti Ibrahim Abu Muhammad has condemned this siege. He has said that he's devastated by the situation. And Karthik Shivkumar with me from Sydney. Karthik, is there fear of a backlash? The Grand Mufti Ibrahim Abu Muhammad, after he's condemned the siege, saying he's devastated by the situation, will this help?
Only thing which I can tell you about this is there has been a lot of Muslim community leaders coming out to the public and expressing their feeling about their incidents. And they are moreover, trying to calm down the people who are going against Muslims. And that's what I can say about this. And I can't comment anything apart from that.
Okay, Karthik Shivkumar, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. We will continue to track this story very closely. The siege in Sydney continues. 13 hours and counting. Now, security officials say this could well continue through the night. It could continue tomorrow. They are negotiating with the hostage taker once again for food to be sent inside. Food did go inside. We'll